This is a podcast with Michel Dothey from neXat and Chris Airy from Compendium Solutions. Welcome to our show, Leaders with Suspicions. I hope you enjoy.
Michael, nice to meet you. Welcome to our podcast, where we deep dive into the journeys of business leaders who are reshaping industries. So, please introduce yourself. Tell me who you are and the company you work for.
Thank you, Chris, for this opportunity. Then I'm Michel Dothey. You can call me Michael because I know that Michel is for ladies in English. And I'm 66 years old and I'm working in satellite since 1990, something like that. Then it's a very long time. It's something like 35 years. And I like it. That's the point. That's very important because, in fact, if you are infected by the satellite virus, I think that it's for your life until you end of your life. And in fact, I'm a telecom engineer and I'm passionate about telecommunication, about electronics since I'm 11. And because I receive a box with something like 100 experience, and when I was 11, and I did all the experience probably in 1 week. And I was really passionate about electronics. And then, of course, after that, I would like to understand really. And then I decide to be an engineer. Then I went to the university. I got my degree with great satisfaction. And then I start working, of course, in the in electronic industry, telecom industry, and yeah, that's it. And I'm still working, and I'm still an engineer even now in neXat. I will explain you this company probably a little bit later. I'm the CCO, then the Chief Commercial Officer. Then I'm in charge of all the commercial activities of the company. Okay.
So you talked about you got the satellite virus, as you called it.
Yeah.
So how did you? I mean, it's not normal to suddenly end up in the satellite industry. So where did you catch this virus?
I think that it was very early. First, I catch the virus of telecommunication because for me it was something really magic to have the possibility to transfer information from one point to another point to the other maybe side of the planet. It was a little bit magic for me when I was 10, 11, and then I really was looking to understand how it works, and I think it's starting from that. And then after that, of course, I learned physics, etc., during my studies. But this is coming, and of course, with satellite is even more wonderful because satellite are at 36,000 kilometers. Then it's very far away, and then and you are able to get to receive the signal and to transfer information with a simple dish. Then it was a really magic for me, really, and it's probably where the virus is coming from.
And did you have any mentors who dragged you into the industry? You know, I mean, in those days, I guess before it became, a big thing with GPS, it was a little bit specialized. So who were the key people that influenced your career?
I think it was first my grandfather who offered me a small radio, very old radio, and I play with it a lot. I dismount it and remount it completely. And then after that, of course, I had to repair all the transistors and all the electric equipment of the family because I like it. And then progressively, yes. And then, of course, with some teachers and very important teachers, I also learned a lot. And yeah, that's how I progress also, and also after that, of course, in the companies, the first company, I was also with some older engineers that teach me a lot about electronics and telecommunication, practical things. Yes.
Okay, cool. So look, the satellite industry is very famous due to Elon right now, yeah. But behind the scenes, it's been, a very important industry. I know from my background in maritime how important it is there, and obviously it has lots of defense aspects and GPS. Everybody takes for granted now in the car sat navs. But it'd be great for the audience who may not be that aware of the satellite industry and the commercialization. If you could just give a bit of a view of the market, the key players, the key industries, and the position of your business within it.
Yeah, satellite industry, as you said, is very important, especially where you do not have anything else. Because, of course, when you are in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of the desert or even in the middle of Africa, it's not obvious that you can get communications. Then it's where satellite is absolutely important. In fact, but of course, in terms of volume, it's not so important in terms of volume, because in fact, I think satellite is catching only 1% of the total communications. Then most of communication are going through fibers, and also mobile, then 5G, 3G, 4G. That's the most important traffic is there. But satellite is only 1%, but it has a lot of value. That's the point, because satellite are available everywhere on the surface of the globe, and then it's a solution that you can use, especially, for example, when you have a disaster. That's the only possibility. Sometimes is satellite. And of course, now also for all what concerns defense, and it's of course extremely important to have satellite connectivity with very high security, because of course in this case security is a major concern. That's globally where we are with satellite. In fact, the most important actor now is Starlink, for sure. They have something like 5 million users, but of course you see that is the most important. 5 million for us, it's for satellite industry, is a very big number, because but of course if you compare this with mobile industry, they have billions of users and billions, and then of course it's extremely small industry, but as I said, very important, and strategically very important. Then Starlink is the biggest player. They're in fact are using what is called low Earth orbit satellite, because they are at something like 550 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. While historically, previous it was the geostationary satellite industry, and geostationary satellite, in fact, they are always at the same position in the sky, but for that they need to be placed at 36,000 kilometers in the equatorial plane. That's the only possibility for a satellite to be at a fixed position in the sky. But thanks to that, of course, it's very easy to point, because you need to have just a parabolic antenna to concentrate the wave of the signal, and then and you don't have to move it because the satellite is still at the same position. And this is a very big difference with LEO, then low Earth orbit, like Starlink. You need to have either a moving antenna, but this is complicated. Of course, there are some mechanics that can create problems, or you need to have an electronically steerable antenna. And this is what is done. It has been developed by Starlink very successfully. And now, due to the fact that they have millions of users, they are able to provide the equipment at a very affordable price. It's something like 400 euro or something like that. Then this is something that is a very, very big success in the industry, and it's a real revolution in the satellite industry. And now, okay, you have new players that are entering also in that game, typically Amazon with Kuiper constellation that are just starting now, but you have also the Chinese and also some other players like Eutelsat with OneWeb that are also trying to have their place in that game.
So that was quite a competitive overview, really. So are there any differentiators, or is it just effectively very similar to the mobile industry where people have their own networks? Is there any cooperation, or is it just competition between all of these different satellite systems?
Yeah, there are competition between GEO and geostationary and low Earth orbit constellation. There is a big competition, but in fact, due to all the advantage of LEO constellations, they will be the winner at the end for sure. That's no question about that. But now, concerning the mobile industry, the mobile operator, now we see more and more cooperations between both. And now the new satellites that are built by Starlink and others, in fact, they are also able to communicate directly with your smartphone. That's very important, and this is the next generation that will provide, and it does some experimentation starting now, proof of concept in different regions of the world, where they demonstrate the possibility to use your smartphone directly with satellites and to get a message first. Then you will have the possibility to have phone conversation. And ultimately, probably in 2 or 3 years from now, you will be able to have also video communication directly with the satellite and your smartphone. Yeah, this is the next steps.
So that's going to bring a whole new set of competitors into the industry, isn't it? It sounds like it's getting hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. There are competition, but also cooperation. Then this is how it works, because of course, sometime okay, you start competing, but then you see, oh, but maybe it's better to cooperate because they have some advantage, I have some advantage, and cooperating together, it's a win-win situation. And this is what is happening. And I think this is when it's possible. Of course, this is the best approach for sure. But of course, the competition between Chinese constellation and between American constellation and European constellation, this is something that will happen for sure. There is with more than one player, and the question of sovereignty is also something very important, because those constellations are really strategic, not only in peaceful situation, but of course you can imagine a war, a conflict, and of course remember what is happening in Ukraine. Of course, satellite communication is really a key, and then of course this is a strategic consideration for all the countries and all the continents in the world, more and more.
So tell me a bit about your product set. Looking at your website, you seem to have multiple products, and it seems like you want to be the friend to many operators, yeah?
Correct.
So So explain your positioning and what makes you unique.
Yeah, our positioning is, but let me explain the story. Where we started. We started, in fact, in 2011. In fact, the company was founded by four engineers, four friends. So we were working together in the same company, and then we decide to create our own business together. And then we started by commercializing managed services, and in fact, internet subscription via satellite in Africa, because we made a market study for European Space Agency, and we saw that okay, in Africa there was a lot of opportunities, and it was great. We started by reselling, in fact, service subscription made by SES. SES is one of the biggest satellite operator based in Europe. And okay, but we really saw from the beginning that a lot of things were missing, because we were working with local partners, local ISPs, and they didn't have any dashboard available. And we start, in fact, now by considering building a solution for them. It's a software solution, and we succeed to do that. And then after that, we add other satellite, other operators, more and more ISPs. And and we built, in fact, our own platform. And this platform was, in fact, then to give monitoring information to our resellers, to give also to do the billing, to have a ticketing system, to be multiple players, then with different technologies, with etc. And finally, we built a complete tool for us, a platform. It's a complete what we called OSS BSS. OSS is operation support system, and BSS is business support system. And this platform is very well known by typically mobile operators, but we build this also for then the satellite industry. Now, okay, since 2020, roughly, Starlink is entering in the game and shaking the satellite industry, as I explained. And then we decide to, from our platform that we built for ourselves, to make a product with this platform and to offer this product to regional satellite operators, because due to the competition of Starlink, a lot of them were, in fact, trying to, in fact, get additional value and to sell also what is called managed services. Then typically in the industry, you have the satellite operator that are, in fact, selling part of the spectrum, then megahertz, and then it's the teleport. They have to install and to operate what is called hub station, that is in fact getting the capacity and interfacing with the internet backbone and transforming megahertz in megabit per second. Okay, this is how it works. But now, okay, more and more satellite operators, in order to get the margin, they also invest in hubs. But of course now, and this is now where we are entering in the scene, by our software solution, then the OSS BSS that we built for ourselves. It's a software solution that we are now offering to regional satellite operator that are investing in hubs and that needs to have the OSS BSS in order to be able to commercialize, in fact, the services that they are providing with the hubs. And in fact, it's a complete software solution where we are able to provide monitoring at the different level of the value chain, because the value chain is the following. You have the satellite operator with the teleport, then you have resellers, then you have sub-resellers, and you have the end users. And at all those different levels, they need to have access, portal access, where they can monitor what they need to monitor, the different terminals. And they have also to be able to manage them, to change the service, to issue tickets in case of problem. All this environment that we are providing with our solution. Then indeed, yes, we are working with satellite operator, we are working with teleport operator, we are working with local ISPs, we are working with end users. Then yes, we are in contact with the complete value chain. And this is of course extremely important for us, because thanks to that and understanding their needs, we are improving continuously our platform, our solution.
Okay. And in terms of the industry opening up, you talked about the mobile phone operators getting involved, and you just talked about the regional players being able to offer more services and potentially collaborate. In terms of what was quite exciting, I guess, for the many listeners here is how could their businesses leverage satellite? I mean, it sounds like there's a potential with your white label services.
Yep.
For more businesses and brands to get involved in the space and the satellite industry game. You know,
Yep.
It's kind of seen as something far away, but it feels like it's getting nearer. What's your views on commercialization and the broader satellite economy?
Yeah, in fact, what is important is the interoperability between both worlds, because in fact, basically, at the beginning, there are totally different solutions, technically speaking, different kind of modulations, different kind of service. And yeah, now, okay, because they are going to collaborate more and more, they need to have interoperability. And it's where our platform is also playing a very important role, because we are providing, in fact, standardized interface, standardized API. API is application programming interface. Then it's an interface where we can, in fact, make both worlds speaking together. And this is extremely important in order to have exactly what you said, the mobile industry using satellite solutions. And this is where our platform can play a very important role. Another things that we are now starting is also providing satellite solution for mobile operator. Typically, mobile operator, they have base station. Okay, and all those base stations needs to be connected either via fiber, via radio links, and now via satellite. Then typically now we are providing, especially with Starlink, the possibility to provide what is called backhauling. Then on each tower, we can install 1, 2, 3 Starlink antennas in order to connect them and provide and connect them to the rest of the network and provide connectivity, especially in area where it's very hard to install fiber or radio links. You can imagine some village that are in the mountains, that it's where it's not possible to have a fiber connection. You can imagine a lot of situation in Africa where it's very costly, in fact, to establish radio links or fibers, and it's where satellite is the best, absolutely best solution. And now that satellite connectivity is more and more affordable, it makes a lot of sense. And now we can demonstrate that at least 5% of the case, it's always cheaper to use satellite rather than fiber or radio links. Then it's why, in fact, satellite is playing more and more roles and cooperation also with mobile industry.
So I think affordability is very interesting there. And thank you for that statistic about 5%. When do you think we'll get to the price point where effectively Netflix will just use satellite and not bother with terrestrial or internet delivery?
But for the time being, you can already use a Starlink terminal. You will have something like at least, depending on the congestion and the subscription, if you have a very high priority subscription, but you can have up to 200 or 300 megabit per second in the downlink, and in the uplink you can get certainly 25 megabit per second in the uplink, and then with that, of course, you will have you can watch Netflix very comfortably, and the cost now is ranging from something like $50 per month, and of course you can have higher subscription depending on your needs and the quality of and the stability of the signal. And it is also depending on the region because it's always possible to have congestion in the network. It's why it's always better to take the highest priority. But even with Netflix, in fact, you need something I think like 5 megabit per second in order to have a good connection. And I think that even with the lowest subscription with Starlink, you are 99% of the time you will have a very perfect signal. Then I think that now satellite is very affordable and can be used everywhere in the world where it's authorized, of course, and get a very comfortable connectivity.
Yeah, I wanted to use that example because I wanted to bring home that I think Starlink's probably 2 to 3 times the price of your home broadband at the moment, but the price is dropping. So that 5% seems quite low, given the rate of drop. So what's your views about that 5% becoming a better choice in more cases?
But yeah, it's typically depending on the density. Then in cities, it's clear that fiber is absolutely the best solution, and you can get 1 gigabit per second. And this is, in fact, the target in Europe, that every home can get 1 gigabit per second. And with fiber, this is quite easily. It can be done very easily at a very low price. Now, if you are going outside the cities and more to the suburb and to the more and more rural area, in fact, it's where satellite is coming more and more competitive. That's very clear. And there are a very interesting study showing that at minimum, depending on the countries, because it's depending on a lot of factors, but depending on the countries, it's between minimum 5% and could be up to 10 to 15%, depending on the countries of the home where satellite is the cheapest solution. Then and it's clearly that the 1% that now is the satellite industry will probably grow to probably 5% in the future and maybe more. And you see that multiplying by more than 5 the connectivity and the business of satellite is it's extremely important for the satellite industry.
So let's switch to different industries then. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of clients in lots of different industries. So I've got some knowledge about how satellite is changing the maritime industry. It used to be quite unaffordable to give crew access on a vessel to SATCOMs all of the time. But now it's become more affordable for people who are away from home to have a little bit more contact and interaction, and then processes and keeping systems up to date is easier. So I can start to see some of the transformation in maritime. Perhaps you could give the listeners some examples from your own experience of use cases, different clients and industries are making with your technology.
Yeah, in fact, the point now, concerning maritime, of course, it's absolutely true. And in fact, yes, you're right. In the past, satellite communication before Starlink was very and for the crew to connect with their home. It was very restricted, I must say. And now, okay, with Starlink, it's really easy, and now it's even at the point that now for a vessel that doesn't have Starlink, in fact, it's very hard for them to have to get the crew on board, because they refuse if there is no Starlink connectivity, and this is why it's so important. And we see a little bit the same situation with the army, with a soldier. Of course, when they are not in mission, they would like, of course, to be in connection with their family. And if you do not provide a good connectivity, of course, they will not stay with the army, and they will do something else. Then it's why it's so important now to provide this level of connectivity, because you need to keep your people working, and this is a typical example. And now, of course, for a lot of people that are living in area where they have no connectivity or very small connectivity, it's changing their life. This is absolutely clear. And we have another example now in Africa, because we are still very active in Africa, where providing very high-speed connectivity is completely changing the life of the people there. Yeah, that's something that's really changing a lot of things, because having no connectivity and suddenly to have a very high-speed connectivity is really changing the life of people and populations, for sure. Definitively, yes, and especially also in terms of security, in terms of they can contact, they can have some medical also. How to say that, consultation. They can contact also, and this is something where it's helping also to improve the quality of life of a lot of populations. Yeah.
So what are your plans for your business? What's your sales growth targets? How big are you going to get? Where's your product lines going to go? Where are you putting investments?
Yes, we have a very ambitious target, and we expect to multiply our turnover by at least a factor 3 in the next few years. In fact, our platform, OSS BSS platform, we got the award from the World Teleport Association as the best technology of the year. And this is something very important, the recognition by the industry of the quality and the importance of our platform. This is one thing. And we are now also got some contract from European Commission for the GovSatcom hub. That is also something that will be very important for Europe in order to be more and more to guarantee sovereignty and to aggregate, in fact, the different European satellite operator together in order to put them available easily to European government and governmental user, like, of course, the armies, but also civil security and all those kind of users. That's something that we are now participating to the development, and Iris Square will plug also in that GovSatcom hub in order to provide their own this additional connectivity. Then this is something that okay, it's important. And now, okay, we're in discussion with some regional satellite operator worldwide, because, as I said, they are now looking for new solutions, to provide new solutions, and they have also to guarantee also the sovereignty of their countries, because typically those regional operators, they are Also, they have important market with their own government, and now they need to have a solution that we can provide with our platform. Then this is really going on, and we see that this market is growing, and we really expect from our market studies to be one of the main player in that area. And there are not so many competitors. That's the good point, and it's why we think that we can probably grow quite well in the coming years.
So I guess as you're expanding and growing, some new skills are becoming increasingly crucial in your industry and in your business. How are the makeup of businesses changing in the satellite industry?
Yeah, the business is changing by in fact mainly what is called orchestration and automation, and also interoperability. Then in the past, when you have to activate a new terminal, it was really a manual process. You had to call the network operator, then you have to make the alignment of the antenna, etc., etc. This is something that was taking could be from 1 week, something like that, because okay, you need to contact people, it was taking a lot of time. Now, okay, thanks to our platform, we are able to automate everything, and then typically when you need a new you have to activate a new terminal, this can be done really in few minutes. And this is changing completely the way it works, and this is also very helpful for growing the business of satellite operator. And now, okay, the next step is interoperability, because as I said, we will be more and satellite will be more and more interoperable with mobile operators. And thanks to that, because and there is another aspect also that in fact is what is called multi-orbit. The point is that for in some situation, and for example for maritime, it's very important also to have a lot of security and to guarantee the availability. Of course, if you rely only on one system, one operator, if there is a problem, you are lost. And of course, if you are lost in the middle of the ocean, it could be a very, very big problem and could be very dramatic. It's why now we are providing what is called multi-orbit. Then you still can use the geostationary solution that you had in the past with the parabolic antenna with motorized, etc. But together with Starlink, and maybe together with another constellation, and then with 2 or 3 or 4 antennas together, you can really with by bonding all this together, it's called SD-WAN solution. We can switch automatically and seamlessly from one operator, one solution to another, and to provide the availability of the service as 99.99% everywhere in the world. And this is something that is also extremely important for typically maritime, but also some other customers that needs to have very, very high availability. Then yes, this is where we are now going in the very short future.
So if there's more interoperability and there's more automation, then potentially you need less engineers, but you might need more customer success. You might need more, people in the operating center. You might need more reporting. How are the skills changing in your business?
Yeah, but in fact, yeah, we try to operate everything at a different level. Then maybe less engineers, I must say, in the NOC, but probably more engineers in the development in our industry, where we are developing developing solutions, and where we need to have people developing this. That's the point. But because it's very important to reduce the cost of operations. This is something due to the competition, and if you want to expand your business, you need, of course, for the satellite operator, they need to reduce their cost of operation, and this is exactly what we are providing with our platform, thanks to automation, which is called also orchestration. But basically, automation, orchestration are very similar things.
So you grew from 4 people, and you're now a certain size, and you're going to triple your turnover. What challenges do you have in terms of the culture of innovation, of making it a great place to work, of the international mindset? What are the challenges you've got with growing this business?
Yeah, you're touching a very, very interesting point. In fact, from the beginning, we are international company since because we started from Belgium. We are a Belgian company, and we started with Africa, with the African market. That's the first point. And now, as we are growing, we are now, because in fact, most of the people in our company are working from home remotely. Then we are able to hire people from everywhere in the world. And I think that now our company, we are 32 people, and we have people from, I think, 20 nationalities, and we are speaking something like more than 10 different languages. Of course, we are all speaking English together because there is no other possibility, but we are very international. Really, this is our DNA. We have people working in India, people working in different regions of Europe. I think that we roughly have people from each continent working, and we are able to hire, and this is very important in order to hire people, because nowadays we need to have people that are very, very, very specialized. And typically nowadays, when you are looking for a network engineer, this is very, very difficult to get, and to have very, very high level people. I remember when we hired people, typically network engineer, we were looking in Belgium, absolutely nobody. We're looking in Europe, we received probably 1 or 2 people that were applying, and finally we got people from different regions of the world out of Europe. And now, they are living in Belgium because, they are very happy to be in Belgium. But anyway, and this is very important for us to be able to hire people from everywhere, from anywhere in the world, because thanks to that, we are able to get the best people. Yeah.
Okay. And is there much difference between a normal network engineer and a satellite network engineer?
Yeah, of course. Very, very few people have the experience of satellite. That's you are correct. Then when we have new people, new engineers, they have to learn about satellite, and satellite is something very, very specific. But they have internal training. We have internal training where and every 1 of 2 or 3 weeks, we have also what we call neXat Cafe, where we are each of the people in the company, they are explaining what they do and to other, and there is an interaction between the different people, and they explain. And typically we are explaining, what is we are taking different example of typically, what is typically SD1, what is in general how satellite is working, what are the different, there are different solution. We are explaining different specific points of our platform. This is something that we do at regular interval in order to have people aligned together and understanding what they do, and to have a global view, a global understanding of what is the target of the company, where we are going, and in order to give sense to their work every day.
I think you've just given some really good examples about how you use communication to keep the esprit de corps and the mission and the belonging to a company on with international employees in many countries. How do you actually, though, take that step further in terms of fostering innovation and ideating the products?
Yeah, for innovation, we are mainly listening to our customers. That's the most important point, because customers, they have needs, and then first we need to understand what are their needs, and then from that we are able to improve our platform and to develop new solutions. Then this is typically where customers are also very important for us to improve our platform. Then, of course, we are also looking to competitors, and we are also looking to the general trend of the industry. All this together, and then of course we are thinking about what else, what could be the next step, what could be the next revolution also in our industry, and we try to anticipate. That is extremely important, because we need always to be at the top level and to be ahead of the competition. And yes, it's a complex process, but yes, you need to be very open-minded and really always to try to open what is the next challenge and where the industry and where is the technology going. That, and then to see what is the impact on what you do typically in our platform, in order to be able to to put the new feature that will be required by the market in the coming years.
That puts quite a lot of pressure on you, because you're effectively the funnel point of the market and client requirements into engineering. And in a lot of industries, it's not surprising. Engineers and technologists say, oh, the requirements are unclear. I don't know what they want. What did they mean? And sometimes you get the disconnect between what the client really wants and what's delivered in the product. How do you manage that process?
But I think that, in fact, we are our industry is a lot of technology, and I must say, fortunately, I'm an engineer, and thanks to that, I think I'm able to understand exactly what are the needs of the customers and how we can fulfill the needs of our customers, and what is the impact in our platform. I think that this is very important, especially in my role in the company, is to be able to transform, in fact, requests and requirements from the market and from the users into requirements in our platform. That's a very important role, and this is what I did, and up to now, and yeah, I hope, of course, to continue that role in the future. But yes, that's very important for me. Yes.
Okay, so you're able, because of your background and knowledge, to articulate the requirement with a little bit of a solution in it to give people a clue as to what it might actually mean.
Excuse me. Could you repeat?
Yeah, sorry, the signal blew a little bit there. Yeah, so I think you were saying that because you've got the technological background, you're able to translate some of the customer requirements into an engineering concept that people can understand better within the organization. Yeah,
that's true, and I'm doing that together with our CTO. that is one of the co-founder of the company, together with the CEO and the COO. And in fact, yes, discussing together is really probably the best way to transform user requirement, vision of the market in real user requirement to be able to, that is transformed in development in our company. There is a complete process, and this is yeah, how it works. And I'm discussing a lot with Fulvio, our CTO, and then finally we transform this in user requirement, formally speaking, that is submitted to our product development team that are transforming this into tickets for the developers. Yeah, there is a complete chain for to transform user requirement into development tickets in our process.
I think there's something quite powerful in what you've just said, that you and one of the other founders are still very active with clients. Yeah, you haven't detached and become, disengaged managing a process. You're actually very much enjoying and living in the business. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. When you are passionate about the business, about what you do, of course, naturally, you are always thinking what is the improvement and what is the next step. Yeah, that's I must say something natural. And as we are all the co-founder totally passionate by what we are doing and by our company, then for us it's a very natural process.
So that passion's very interesting. So why don't you try and explain to somebody who isn't in the satellite industry why they should join the satellite industry? What excites you most about it?
Yeah, because it's really exciting industry. In fact, satellite industry is a small world, and we know, not each, but we see always the same people, and sometimes they are changing. They are working now for another company, but basically it's the same group of people, and it's very nice to go now to the different, because this is part of my job, of course, to travel to the different fairs, satellite show, and every year I meet the same, and this is very interesting because now they are going to be friends. And we communicate very easily together. And when they need something, they just call me. And then yeah, this is how it works. And it's fascinating. It's not only the technology, I must say, but it's also the people, and it's a very international environment. And every year I'm traveling from Australia, Singapore, Dubai, then Cape Town, Washington, San Francisco. This is typically all the cities where I'm traveling every year and meeting people there, and it's very, very nice to see all those people together. And then it's not only technology, it's also people. It's also because technology is changing, and when you are an engineer and passionate about technology, of course I appreciate that things are changing because it's always a new challenge, it's something new. And I like that. That's the point. And yeah, this is the reason why, for me, satellite industry is so exciting.
Brilliant. And let's talk about for people who want to get into the satellite industry. Yeah, I mean, if you're automating everything, you don't have a lot of vacancies. But how do people get into this industry?
I think that yeah, sometime, of course, if they are engineers, okay, if they are choosing to go in that the telecommunication then satellite, of course, naturally they will land in the satellite industry. But sometimes could be different. That could be because yeah, they are software engineer and they are now working for satellite company or whatever. Then there are different ways to enter, but I think that because it's a very it's a technological industry. Of course, probably the best is to be an engineer. That's the easiest way to join the satellite industry.
Okay, and just to sort of wrap up our session, because we're out of time now, why don't you tell us what's the lesson you had to learn the hard way, what you would wish you'd known when you were starting out, and you know, when you decided to form the company, I guess the industry was immature at that time, and you were taking some risks. So to all those budding satellite entrepreneurs out there, what advice would you give them?
I think that, yeah, what advice? Yeah, first you have to be passionate and to be convinced about your product and the market. And you have to be very careful because, of course, it's very good to be enthusiast, but you have to be also careful. Then start without maybe taking too much risk, but try to really understand the needs of your customers and to provide a solution that is the best solution that you think is the best solution for your customers. You have to discuss a lot with your customers. And when you see that, okay, you have the solution for one or two customers, probably you can have this solution for the complete market. And this is, I think, the best way to approach, and then going step by step, and always anticipate what is the next step. That's I think the best you can do in order to be successful without taking too much risk.
Thank you very much. I very much enjoyed that conversation.
Thank you, Chris. A pleasure for me.